The following video was pre-recorded on twitch.tv/codedman9000. More information on the stream times at the end of the video. Previously on Stone to Space.
For the start of Chapter 3, we went to Kerbal Space Program to learn how to make rockets so that we could explore the stars for a new home. We began playing on career mode while not knowing anything about what we were doing. After doing some research off-stream, we then moved to the science mode with newfound knowledge. We went to both moons, created communication networks, planes, science missions, a space station, and then ended the game by traveling all the way to Duna in the Antari ship.
After arriving at Duna, our ship the Antares fell apart, causing us to land on Duna and mine its resources so that we could fix the Antari ship. We unlocked various buildings, and also different types of science. After fixing everything but scanners on the ship, we then left the planet behind us as we continued to travel in space.
Hello and welcome to a Twitch Plays Along series called Stone to Space. Today we're in Chapter 3, Space Travel. Today we are playing Oxygen Not Included.
As I was saying, is moving the food up here. We're also going to have to move all of this oil, and I think all I'm going to do is put a pump down here and just pump it up. Not a, one of these pumps. We're going to do an actual liquid pump, not one of the manual ones that take a Duke requirement. We're also going to have to do the same thing right here for the water weeds. Which I don't think are growing right now? Or are they growing? Oh, they are growing. Oh, that's right, because in here there is a liquid being pumped into it. I forgot. Yeah, so we're trying to build the same stuff over here. I also am trying to get it to where it has some liquid in here, so that we can just go right into using it and do the pinch prepper nuts, because they don't take very much. We're also doing a single liquid lock right here for the pinch prepper nuts, so that the heat from this doesn't drip out quickly. It is still going to come out of the room, but hopefully doing that little liquid lock there will trap the heat in. It's also not going to be too much extra heat. It's only 35 degrees, which is when everything starts to die outside of this range. Because almost everything stops growing at 30. That's 35. The mealwood is 30. I think the bristle blossoms are also 30. I know the nosh, these are actually in a colder environment. We don't have to worry about them. What about the water weeds? Water weeds can be a lot hotter. So we could switch the water weeds. No, we can't. We don't have enough room to put all of these guys down there. Hold on a second. No, the mushrooms stop growing after 35 degrees. So the only thing that would benefit from being up here is the water weeds, just because they have a higher temperature range. Let me look at bristle blossoms. They are 30, so bristle blossoms and wheelwoods, the main two foods that are easy to grow, all stop out of the comfort range of a duplicate. But it looks like all the other specialty type foods are all 35 and above. I think the dust caps and the pinch prep nuts are too close to that number. I don't know how well we can cool this room to make, or heat this room to make sure it stays at exactly 35. So we're not going to put more food in this little room. We'll keep it the same way that we have this queued up. We just have to wait for them to build the rest of this. We're also getting to the point where I do not need to put anything on a higher priority, because I'm allowing the duplicates to do things at their own rate. Now down here, this one plant's not growing because this hasn't off-gassed yet. once it does, the room should heat up. It's just a little cold over here. And we don't have to worry about this overheating because this is only 60-degree temperature when it gets up to that point. This will, over time, heat up this water through the insulated tile. Because insulated tiles are not 100% non-transferable with heat. They do slowly. There's a Wheezewort on this colony. I am surprised there's a Wheezewort here. When I played this in the past, I did not get a single Wheezewort. Some of you guys may remember when I was in Willow's chat for one time. I was telling her I did not know how to do radiation without Wheezeworts. Because all I had was that little bit of uranium at the starting base area. I think it was somewhere over here. And that was the reason why there was no Wheezeworts on this asteroid. So you may get a Wheezewort if you play this asteroid. You may not. That's polluted oxygen. I have to keep reminding myself what that is. That should be a volcano. And to help us get this into a steam room a little bit quicker than just having volcanoes off-gassing everywhere, we will have this cool steam vent going. And that should be enough to get this area started, at least to heat up the tiles surrounding it. We're gonna have to make a breathable area over here. To make sure that people can get out of here without overheating. The same with this room. I don't know if this can overheat. Where is it? I don't think this can overheat. Maybe we build another room around that as well. What are you doing? Hi. This paintbrush on the floor next to me. Alright, what are they currently building right here? Oh, this is the clean water going up and into the bristle blossoms. Everything, yeah, everything's on a 5, so they're getting to it eventually. We also unlocked a new sink. This is a different color compared to this one. That's the normal. And I don't think we have this queued up to make a serum. Oh, we do. They just have yet to make a single serum. Yeah. Okay. We don't really need them to make a serum right now. They can do that whenever all of these are filled, which I highly doubt that's going to happen anytime soon. And it looks like they built all the pipes. So now what are they doing? They're probably doing the pipes inside here because I think the hydroponic farms are all made out of cobalt. We're gonna have to do a mass sweep of this area. There's also a Pacu stuck in here. I'm just gonna queue that up to be killed. And I'm going to tell them to mop this area. And not that area, because I want that, not the polluted water. I want the regular water to fall down here. Alright, let's queue up a sweep order of all of this. And all of this. Then I need to figure out how we're getting all of these liquids around. I think the easiest thing to do would be to go like this. Delete that. And then we're gonna have to place in power in here. And it should be like this. I think the power is on the left top portion. And then we would just need to go straight up. Well, not straight up. If I can do this quick enough, we'll have the pipe in there. There we go. That will bring the oil up there once we have this ready. Then we have to do the same thing over here. Which we'll use the same pipe bridge, we'll just bring it up more. Which I could queue up right now, actually. And that's gonna go to right there. Shouldn't matter what it's made out of. Deconstruct that. And I'm gonna place in all of these now. Looks like somebody's coming over here to kill the Pacu. Oh, you dropped the gold. I think that was for the vent. Yes, it was. Good job, Max. For a second, I thought we weren't streaming because my overlay didn't update. There we go. We're also going to have to put in all of the automation in this area, which is going to take some amount of power. Which is probably why I have a transformer in this room. Do all the power out here. I think I might want to start telling them to prioritize certain things. I am definitely going to tell them to do all of this. So I can at least queue up the hydroponic farms for the nosh beans. We do need pipes, though. We need pipes right here for the nosh beans. Let's tell that to be queued up in 6 as well. So hopefully to do that sometime soon. But for right now, we'll just leave it like that. How is all of this doing? It looks like it's running pretty well. We're pretty much using the salt water immediately as it comes in. And for some reason, it's doing a double feed. Let's just do that. And then we should be getting it completely. Do that together. That just made this turn into something else, so we'll just turn that off. And now we should be getting our salt water in here immediately. Rather than it being like 2 packets at a time. I'm just waiting to make sure that it all works at this point. Now, we aren't currently making enough power for us to run all these aqua tuners, so they are shutting off occasionally. I need to figure out why this bridge is here. Because we could just bring it in, not have the bridge. I'm guessing that'll be shown later. Okay, so once that gets down here, we shouldn't be using polluted water as fast as we are. Everything there is on a 7. I kind of want to bring this in. Oh, we also have water here, so this is probably overfilled. Deconstruct that. And this. And I want this to be anything above 25. We are keeping this at a reasonable temperature outside the base, or outside the steam room. This will slowly get cooled down over time. Alright, how is this room doing? We don't have any gas in here, so that means this is probably still dormant. Only for another cycle, so we're gonna have more power soon. In the form of hydrogen, which may actually never be used. Looking at how we are currently living. We're not doing too bad. So maybe we won't need the dirty brick right away. I also kind of don't like this feeding back on itself. I could have just went left, down, and around. That might look a little bit more clean. We'll worry about that later. They did finish building all this in, so I'm going to just take this and build another 10. I also need to tell them to clean up everything. I'm going to tell them to clean everything on a 7 just to get it out of here. It should update the other stuff to be on a higher priority. It looks like they're prioritizing pipes before anything else. I don't know if that's a thing that's actually like, coded into the game or not. Like what specific thing they like to build first. I know in terms of priorities, they always do stuff on the left, right first. So they're always going to attack a critter before operating something. If everything is on the same priority. Alright, so what were we gonna do? First, a normal pod. Sweetle eggs are copper. We're gonna take the copper. I feel like that would be more useful. We haven't had a person make glass yet, so I'm going to put that on a 7. We also did this to try and get rid of carbon dioxide that was inside this, which I don't see any anymore. And this is now on the wrong tile. So if I bring that over and put this here, that should switch it back. And I should probably put one over on the other side of the base, over here. Just so that we're not getting this over here. This is due to the liquid coming out and flashing over here, so there's not much gas there. We are going to deconstruct these two. That's going to do everything underneath it. Building. No, that cancels just buildings. We want to deconstruct just buildings. So I don't get rid of stuff behind the thing. Alright, what else should we queue up? I think I want to queue up the next dig command for Gino and Sophie. So instead of adding ladders, I'm just going to queue up a 4-tile high dig command from right here. Ooh, I can't go all the way over, because we want to keep this relatively cold for the mealwood. So I'll go to that point, and then over here, we'll start here. Oh, we're not even caught up over here. Alright, let's queue this up then. We'll have to add ladders here. Or do we? Because I can reach this stuff from right there. No, we do want ladders so we can get underneath here. And I don't think I have enough igneous rock at the moment to do all of that. So anyway, Gina and Sophie should be able to go do that because they're not really digging anything over here except for maybe the abyssalite in this spot. But our 2 builders should be able to do that as well. Another thing I need to point out is that they shouldn't be able to pick up phosphorite in this area unless something that uses phosphorite is requesting it. then they should be able to pick up stuff that I have it being swept. They also built everything over here rather quickly, so let's do this. Deconstruct that one tile, we'll put in the pump. Over here, the lettuce is turned into polluted dirt, which is not good, but it's all right. I am going to relocate this to here and relocate this to here. We'll then open both of those bottles, and they shouldn't overflow onto the next tile if I do it correctly. Oh, I already got rid of that, so let's put in the pump. And a check power. I did put the power in the correct spot. So now we just need them to do all of that. And just checking what they're doing. I think we're gonna have to do an ugly pipe to get up here. And then we'll fix it later. What do sleet wheat take as a liquid? Clean water. Really? Why does that seem wrong? It is clean water, so I actually need to add this to in here. So let's do this in sections. It's going to bypass the water weeds, go into here to be cooled down. So I need to go here and here. And it's going to be a 50-50 split, which is going to be fine. We're also not doing too bad on getting rid of all this. It should be on a 6, right? No, it's on a 7. Maybe they are taking a little too long for that. Yeah, it should be fine. Okay, this is ready. I'm going to put that on a 6 so that they give this power to bring all this oil out. I am going to have to mop that up. Should be fine. There is a lot of debris right here, so that's going to take a while for them to get rid of. Oh, and this geyser is fully filled in. So we're at a point where we're not even using all of our water right away. That's pretty neat. What? Oh, they put in one of the farm tiles. I was wondering how this wasn't already still backed up. That's the reason why. And this is still not getting backed up, so that's perfect. That's running the way it should. We were trying to do this, but I think I want to test out putting a double block on this. So I might actually move it up here. Or we could just keep it only being supplied to power over this side. We don't really need it to run through the entire base here. We could even put this on one of the lines here. This is only... oh, it doesn't have the arcade on it. Oh, and now that we have a surplus of power, we can connect this back in and allow them to have some luxury in their recreation room. Did I unlock the phone? I think if I just type in phone, it'll show up, right? Party line phone. We did not unlock it. Alright, we'll do that. That's only tier 2 science. That should get done rather quickly. That's the last thing that's not built over here. That's not what I want to click on. I wanted power. So this is going to have an extra 1200 on it. That'll bring us up to 1680 at one time if everything's going. I think the phone is only 60 watts, so that's 1740. And I can't do 1740 plus those three things in my head. So 120 times 3 plus 1740 is enough to break the line. So I think we will keep that on the main power spawn rather than queuing it into this. I could put this on there. Hi. What are you doing? One of the kittens at my feet woke up. Are they playing in the litter? What are you guys doing over there? You are playing with it. Stop playing with the poop. Give me 1 second, chat. They're actually playing with poop as a toy. What are you doing over here? Get out of here. Attacking me as I'm trying to clean this. Alright, and just when the research gets done, I am back. I didn't do a full cleaning of the cat litter, but I did like skim the top of it so that they don't have much ammunition to play with. They might still try and find something underneath, but who knows. Anyway, let's do the party line phone right here. I don't think it's in this, but there we go. I want this to be gold. Is it? Oh, it's 120 watts. It's even more than I thought. Who's coughing? That's Mama. There we go. We should get a morale boost. Now, they're probably not going to use this party line phone until we have a phone somewhere else. Why does that say outside of recreation room? Just missing a decor item? It is! How was I able to make it a room before without doing a decoration item? I don't think I did make it into a room previously. Let's do our first paintings. Do we have paintings unlocked? I know they're at the bottom. We have a normal 2x2. I like the 3x2s. So we're gonna also do that research, and then we'll make this a recreation room. Right, how are they doing out here? They look like they're doing pretty good. They did put in the pipe bridges over here. So let's just cue that. And this. I'm gonna cue that to be insulated. We're just gonna bring it all the way over like that. Now they can't build here, so that means I have to put some bridges in other places. What liquid does this take? Polluted water. So that's 3 pipes that have to at least go up into this area now. What are you doing? What do you smell on the bottom of my foot? That means you have to hold my foot in place while you smell it. If you start attacking my foot, I'm going to spray you with air. Telling you that right now. And now there's salt water in here because of them digging over here. Okay, at this point they're not going to be able to dig everything. Oh, that's not in line. Okay. I was wondering why this looks 1 tile high compared to this ladder, but I realized it's not in line with this. And they didn't finish digging this out yet, but that's fine. I'm more focused on getting our food up and running. What is going to happen to that salt water when we open or turn on the pump? Can you get away from the camera, please? Alright, majority of the things are ready, so I'm going to copy these. Ready for his close-up. 3, 4, 5 mushrooms. The rest are mealwood. I know the kitten is cute, but at the same time, I don't want you guys to see nothing. They're too close. We're going to deconstruct all of this now. Just so that we can get the seeds. Even though I think we have enough seeds for over here. Body temperature. It is still too hot in this area. That's fine. We're gonna work on that. How do we have such a high amount of food? A majority of it is barbecue. Barbecue and peku fillets. Why are we not using it in here? I want to see what they're currently making. We did just unlock paintings. What did you just make? You made the berries. Cooked seafood. Cooked seafood right here. So we have the uncooked fish. We need to cook the fish and then it goes in here. But for some reason we're not cooking the fish. It's slightly disturbing. Now, why is there such a little amount of sunbugs in here? Do I need to increase the amount of food that's in this? I don't think I do. We do have this set up for royal bugs, right? Yes. Okay. So if we ever get another one, we'll start ranching them. And these are set up for 3 more variants of shine bugs. How are we doing? Our food is pretty much built at this point. We can now copy all of this to here. I don't think we have any nosh beans out in the wild. I'm gonna let them place in as many as they have. Let's tell them to get rid of that salt water before they put this on, or turn that on. And we want this. Now, I have purposely spaced out all of these buildings. To be 3 tiles apart. Alright, the cats are all in like attack mode, like they're gonna attack something. Oh, it's just Mama playing with them. Nice. Okay, so we're gonna place painting here. Painting right there. Now, I don't know. Gino, I have no idea who you're talking to. There's only one phone. So maybe you're talking to yourself. And like I assume, they're not putting anything in here because they don't have the beans for it. I don't know what Regus is doing up here. I think he's building one of these tiles, but then got stuck in some way. That's definitely what happened. They can't get into there, so I'm gonna have to deconstruct this. Because I don't think I can build that tile. Alright, they attempted to clean this up. I am gonna have to mop this up first, and then mop that. If only you were coming down to do this. We could have this already filled in. What are you guys doing? It's just playtime. They got the zoomies. Oh, is our last duplicate fully completed? Now they are. We don't have to look at skill points anymore. Alright, that means that this can be turned on now. They did get 2 nosh beans. Wow. I am surprised. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna tell them to deconstruct all of this. The oil should be getting pumped into the correct spot. I do want to make sure that it's going somewhere correctly. This may be heating up the surrounding area, but that should be fine. It's already that hot anyway. Alright. Oil's going where it needs to go. Like I thought, we do need to mop up that one spot. And now they are deconstructing all this, which should give us more nosh beans for up here. It looks like we'll have an extra 2 left over. I do want to make sure that they are bringing it to here and not inside the colony. Now they do have to be somewhat quick because these will turn into polluted dirt rather quickly. So I think they just picked up 4. There should be another 4 down here somewhere. Now, since we don't need that much oil in here, I'm gonna just cut it off here. And instead, I am going to relocate this to here, and we're going to do another temporary pipe. This can be made out of whatever, because we're going to actually branch off of this. That will go over one more. So right here, we'll put another liquid valve, or liquid pipe. Deconstruct that. I want to then connect these in. Alright, they brought all the nosh beans over. Put the polluted water that ran out? Yes, it is. Okay. Now this should be running non-stop, which should be emptying these quicker than it is. Might not have done something right there. Let me make sure that these are all vacuum. They are. Okay. That has nothing to do with that either. Now we were able to get into here, so I'm going to do a sweep of this as well. And then we need to start filling it with water. And that should bring all of the oil up there. There shouldn't be too much that we can give to that area. It's actually going down very quickly. I'm surprised. And with that, all that oil is moved. So we can once again deconstruct all of this, all of this, and start getting rid of this entire bottom part of the base. All the oil should be out at that point, so let's deconstruct this portion as well. And this oil is almost large enough. For oil, it becomes 2 tiles high somewhere after 800 kilograms. It doesn't need a full 1,000 like water would. If we find a water thing. Here's one. So down here, it needs 1,000 kilograms before it goes over, but this only needs 869. We do not have enough of that over here. Okay. How are they doing on sweeping? It looks like phosphorite, abyssalite over here. Alright, once they finish deconstructing, I'm going to do another mass sweep. Make sure that they have everything queued up. They can't move the eggshells either. So let me just do all of that. What is this? That is brine. There was brine up here? Really? Was it like brine ice or something? I didn't know we had brine on this asteroid. That's salt water. Salt water. Salt water. How did brine get up here? I don't know, but we're gonna take all this brine. And we're gonna use it over here. So I'm gonna grab this, place that in. This will mean that we have to bring less from down here. Like, we're required to bring less from down here. And this doesn't necessarily say how much atmosphere it needs. So I don't think this is going to ever be too much water unless it's 2 tiles high. Which right now, it's not even halfway filled. I'll just go ahead and queue this up to be brine on a 7. We're not going to make it enable auto bottle because they don't have a pitcher pump somewhere. Where are you going? Oh, you're doing the ladders going down. Okay, let's queue this up to be dug then, to help make that a little bit quicker. They mopped everything up here that quick. Alright, since this should be all just phosphorite, I am going to cancel the sweep of all that, and this. That should allow them to focus on picking up the things that are more important. Alright, we also don't need any of this now. And I guess I should figure out a way to get all this out. So what I'm gonna do is go like this. Apparently we have igneous rock again. So what I'm going to do instead, I'm going to pause right here. We're going to put in stuff that's not igneous rock, and then use this to queue it together. And then we're pretty much just going to backfill it right back into here, which is going to stop the water weeds from growing. We can also deconstruct things that wouldn't be there. That needs to be there, actually. We can do the same over here. I think that's as far as I can go for right now. Oh no, I didn't think of that. Yeah, I'm gonna reload the cycle. I don't want to have to pick up the brine through the different liquids. That didn't set us back too far, though. I hope, at least. No, we're not too far back. That is moving the oil, that's fine. Deconstruct that. Let's also queue up the pipes for here, and then we'll connect them in later. And since I now know that this is brine, let's mop this up as well. And put this here, just like before. And now I'm only going to deconstruct that and that. You know what? And this as well. So that we can get in there quicker. All this is yet again done. I should probably also put this on deconstruct buildings only. And put this back on gas. That might help them get through this quicker. They were still building this, so let's dig that out. Okay. This should be exactly where we were. if not slightly off due to sweeping. Now that they have this all built in, let's deconstruct all of this. That, and... oh, not that. Connect that together. That's going to be for the brine. Which I highly doubt I can mop. No. What we could do is let it flow into here and then sweep it up as we're going. Don't need that being swept. This is going to be on water. I'm going to leave it on a 5 because it's not too important right now. This, on the other hand, is important. And let's do another mass sweep to make sure that we're getting everything out of here. That's the 2 egg shells. I'll just go like that, and they should be able to pick everything up. Eggshell, we're going to relocate you in here. And there's another eggshell right here that they won't be able to pick up, so I'll relocate that as well. And that right now should be enough to start doing water weeds. We did do a relocate for the oil. Hi. What are you doing? Are you gonna start attacking the screen like you usually do? Yes, you are. So if you're gonna keep attacking the screen, I'm gonna start spraying you. Alright, it looks like they already cleaned up pretty much all of the brine except for those 2 bottom bottles. They do have quite a bit up here. I see bleach stone right there. Take care of that. Did I see a sweep command? I did. Alright, we can cancel these now. And I think it's time to tell them to prioritize relocating stuff. So do that. We can also take these, do them in there, and deconstruct this. We can also head over to here and grab the blossoms. Queue them up. They don't have any water being supplied to them. They also... well, they do have water supplied to them, actually. But they won't have any of the power, so they shouldn't be drawing any of that water. What is going on here? That is almost a full tile of oil that did not flow down to the bottom. That actually surprises me. I'm just checking to make sure that there's no water going through these right now. And somehow we have almost 7 tons of igneous rock again. Right, here's all the oil. Or at least some of it. Keep sweeping that out. Bringing over more nuts. That's a 7, that's a 7. Keep going. Not gonna keep attacking the screen. At some point they'll puncture the screen. How is this not in a room? Oh, that can only be in a room that's the same as the max ranch size. Okay, I was also making sure this is still blue. We're gonna have to figure out where we need to put the automation in before I start doing the 3-tile trick. No, I don't want to relocate. I want to empty and empty. We might have to build a tile right here for the oil to readjust where it is. And then maybe later it will not be in that tile. Alright, we have that salt water ready to be moved again, so I'm going to stop that from going. We're gonna go like this. Keep going. That should be emptying out this, which it is. Doing a 50-50 split though. Oh, that might actually overcool this. When does salt water freeze? Minus 7.5. We're definitely going to get to minus 7.5. Yep, there's cold damage right there. Alright, we'll just put that back where how it was. Somebody's gonna have to come in here and fix this, though. You know, emergency. Why is there a pip out here? I do that. I'm also going to do a wrangle of everything in there, make sure that they're in the correct branches. We don't need anything in there because we have pips. Or pups. Let's do our first prediction. What is the pod in the top left corner going to be? Is it going to be clothing, buildings, decorations, or wallpaper? You have 10 minutes to decide. Is somebody going to come over here and fix this? Welcome in, Dotterly. Just in time to do a prediction. Okay, Marie is coming in now, it seems. Or that's Ellie, not Marie. Let's deconstruct this. And I'm gonna get rid of all the tiles we don't need anymore. Alright, once they build that in, this should start running again. There we go. Now we can take all that out. All that did was just introduce a little bit more steam pressure. Nothing too bad. Alright, and I am going to attempt to queue up all of the ladders back in this area once they deconstruct the tiles. That should be the last tile being deconstructed there. This will allow us to deconstruct everything that's underneath the ladders at this point. Bringing us closer to having this done. Why is there not enough nuts up there? I don't know, but that does worry me. That is done so we can deconstruct this. Actually, no. We were thinking about deconstructing this tile and letting it drain over. How did the oil pure go? That got deleted. Okay, we're gonna need to put in some tiles there to keep that. I'm gonna wait for it to get all the way over, and then I'm gonna start mopping it up. I don't think it's going to go all the way over. What's in the pod? Blueprint? Yes, we are doing a prediction for it. Yeah, maybe 7 minutes left. Happy times unto you too as well. Alright, but them doing that as quickly as they are. And now means that we have all the brine picked up. It also means that the water weeds are going to stop growing. And I can't backfill. Oh, I can backfill this way. Let's do that. And then that means we could also empty this pipe if I deconstruct the bridge. Alright, that ladder is in, so let's deconstruct everything right here. Reclaim all of that stuff. We're going to also deconstruct that one tile there, and this one tile here. Not against 30 points, can't have me that cheap. Thank you for filing for 7 months. Since they're doing that as quickly as they are, let's put in this ladder run. Time does go by. We should also put in the ladders up here so that they can do all this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should allow them to put in all the water in here, which will get filtered into this. And I guess we don't need this pipe anymore. To get all rid of that stuff and this. Do you want to watch the movie for something for Christmas? Why are they doing this? Oh, because I put the tiles in. We'll deconstruct those too. And now we get to see if this is going to be too much water in here. Casablanca is fantastic. It is. Okay, that did move the oil over. We do still need a little bit of oil in this area. So I'm going to put in the pressure pump there. And it's almost time to start thinking about automation. How did they do over here at moving stuff around? They got that done very quickly. They did do the one glass, so let's do glass again. And we get to turn this on forever. I'm going to put that on 5 though, because we don't need that now. We also don't need this right now, or that, or that. I do want steel in a high priority. And oh! How hot does this come out at? 500. This should have been made out of steel. Alright, what we're gonna do is a very quick fix. Oh, it's gonna be too hot. No, actually, right now it's not too hot. It is too hot when it first comes out, but not right now. We're gonna have to put in a little something like this. Actually, I'm gonna just queue up a bunch of tiles to be put there. They should be able to build all of these tiles. Cue that up to be deconstructed, even though they can't do it for right now. And what's going on up here? It's on the 7th, so they should be building that. Alright, since they're getting close to finishing that, I am going to disconnect this before the aqua tuners, so that it doesn't backfill and get too cold. This is all prepared. Let's also deconstruct all of this stuff. And we can deconstruct another layer of tiles along with that. And those two, we can deconstruct these and these. I need the tiles here to keep this functional, so we can't deconstruct them yet. I think they'll build this once they finish deconstructing everything. Although I'm not too sure about it. Where are you taking that salt water? Oh, there's still a thing over here. Let's deconstruct this. And deconstruct this. They should be placing all that into here. Okay, that's all of that. They are not doing the pipes. I'm gonna let them finish doing them. And that's the last one. There we go. Do all that back in. We can deconstruct these. There should be water coming in here. There is not, because we didn't turn it on yet. Alright, and all this is going back. Stop that. We're going to cue this back in so we can empty the pipe. Deconstruct all of that. I'm also going to get all of this queued in. Just so I can go like this and deconstruct all the bridges. And there we go. And that should back up soon. It's actually not stopping, so I don't know if it is going to back up anymore. Oh, it's going through it all because this isn't up there yet. That makes sense. Alright, how are we doing on brine? If I take a look at this... It says we have an available 200 kilograms somewhere. Did somebody pick it up? Nope, it's way down there. Okay. So somebody did try to pick it up and take it in, but then they... I don't know, had a schedule change or something? So let's focus on this for right now. Now there is already a little bit of water in here. If I do this right, I could get the water to be up here. I am going to turn this on now. They should be putting the nuts in there. They can't reach it. Oh. One little ladder right there. This can also be turned on. And we have 0 brine left, so let's deconstruct this. Oh, apparently they were still bringing over to brine when I did that deconstructing. So hopefully this empties out completely before they come over here, which it is. And now we have almost 400 kilograms of salt water over here, or brine, I mean. 7 plants, copy, connect. Alright, that's mostly ready. This is still emptying, which it's pretty close to doing. We probably don't have to keep an eye on it. Let's continue deconstructing more stuff that we don't need. Like all of that. Where are they over here? They haven't built those in yet. Now they're able to put in those 2 pitcher pepper nuts. Oh, that's a good point. How are they going to put in the phosphorite? I don't have any pictures open. If I take a look at this picture, do I have a ladder somewhere? I do have a ladder somewhere. Right there. So I had the ladder just one tile over too far. Because we're going to put an auto sweep, not an auto sweep, we're going to put a conveyor loader here and an auto sweeper on the left side. Which I guess we could keep the ladder here. No, I can't reach this corner. So it does need to be right there. Okay. Our food's getting pretty good though. Let's do that, and I need a way to get rid of phosphorite. So I think I am going to queue this up to be able to have phosphorite in it. That way we at least have a place to put it. How are they doing over here? They still have not built any of that yet. Oh, our salt water is empty. I forgot to focus on it. Get that back in. Deconstruct all of this. And all of that. Grab ladders. Build all those ladders. Then we should be able to go through all this and deconstruct everything. Oh, not those, actually. I want to be able to get up and over this from any angle. So these ladders, yes. We will deconstruct those. And we can also move the power in a straight line. So I'm going to do that just for looks. Just like up here. Okay, I'm also going to put in 2 tiles right there, just so that we can put in an amount of water in here and have it always growing just for the fun of it. I'm going to do that. We're going to put this on a 7 so that they can get Willow out of here. Willow can't get up here. Okay. But if I do that, Willow can probably save themselves. Even though Regus is over here now building the ladder. Good job, Regus. Saving Willow. Alright, we dropped off a little bit of water in this area. I'm going to relocate this to, I don't know, just somewhere else. also pick that up. I want to make sure that this is all empty. Alright. So this has a little bit of carbon dioxide. Let's put in a tile there just to get rid of it. Check this blueprint. Shine bugs, mealwood seed. We'll take the mealwood seed. We also are ready for our first prediction of the stream. So let's see what it is at the start of the next cycle. Did they do this yet? They have not. Should be able to get to it. Alright, autosave is done. Let's see what we're getting. We have 100 points total in wallpaper. Nothing else in the other spots. Unfortunately, it is clothing. So I'm going to steal all your points from you guys. And now we are going to do an immediate second prediction. Only this time I'm going to add in a fifth option. So we are now going to be tops and bottoms, then buildings, wallpaper, decoration. So this is not going to exclude Atmos suits. We're going to count a helmet as a top. And an Atmos suit is a helmet and the actual suit. So the suit itself would be the bottom, the helmet would be the top. Either way, you have 10 minutes to vote on that prediction. Tops, bottoms, buildings, decoration, or wallpaper. It is always clothing. There's more clothing items than there are the other items. There is bleachstone right here. That did not make it into where it should be. Why are they not doing this? It says unreach. Oh, because they can't. Okay. Build that ladder, then they can go back in there. How is this area doing? We didn't get any more oil in there. We did get this tile built, so we can deconstruct that. And this is saying it's missing irrigation. That's probably just the water going in. It is missing. And over here, they built everything, so let's deconstruct this. Get all of that igneous rock back. Let's come over here and build in the next set of ladders. Going all the way over. And also... when we have our food going, we are going to be deconstructing all of this and moving that stuff around, but for right now, it's going to stay where it is. How is the temperature in that area doing? We probably shouldn't dig out any more of this cold stuff. We might want to ignore everything to the right of this abyssalite and start here when we get down to it. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is put in the ladders over here as well. No, we don't need that last ladder. Get this all queued in. Dig out anything else that's on that line. And deconstruct this little bit. And that one ladder there. And then we're almost ready to deconstruct all the ladders that are in this area. Which is going to give us about, I want to say 2 tons. Maybe more than 2 tons. Might be lowballing the number of ladders we have there. We also are getting close to this gold volcano. We'll have to worry about that at some point. Alright, did they finish this point? They did. Let's get this in there and queue this up to be water. How is this doing? Still at 771. Hey, Mama. Alright, they did put a little bit of water in there, which should mean this is a vacuum. So we don't actually have to deconstruct or build anything in there. Let's just go up here and get in this area. I didn't realize that this comes out at 500 degrees. We are going to have to do a backfill of tiles just so we can get through this. So I'm going to let them keep filling water in here, because if they can get this tile, then that's less that we have to build back. That's probably going to off-gas again, raising up the temperature even further. I'm curious to see how hot it gets when it goes. No, we're not fixing it, we're deconstructing it. Alright, grab this, made out of steel, put that in there. Grab that. Alright, how are they doing? They're way up here doing those ladders and these ladders, so I'm going to tell them to prioritize this. Because that is more important than them putting in ladders. In terms of everything else, we probably should keep going over. I kind of want some liquid somewhere else. Is there any salt water we can pick up? Let's pick up the salt water that's in this area. Tell them to mop all that, because that's going to drop when we build more tiles. I'm actually going to queue up those tiles now. Ladder all the way over to there. Queue up this, and a little bit of a dig. Alright, salt water right here, please. Apparently I did something and moved around the liquids. Salt water, and that should be enough. Hi. You coming to lay down? Let me get a little bit closer for you. Hi. You guys can't see them, that's unfortunate. What you doing? Are you watching the puffed? Okay. Thinking about what our next stage of this is, I should probably vacuum this out. What we were doing was this, so that I can put carbon dioxide in here, not have to worry about it. We're also going to need the ladders in this area. I'll wait for them to build that. How did they do over here? They did make the steel thing. Somehow carbon dioxide got in here, I don't know how. So let's build a tile right there. We're gonna stay here and watch them build it because I don't want them to get stuck in here. Hi. Good job, Marie. Build that in, we can deconstruct all of this. And then, since this is on a 7, we don't have to look at them doing any of that anymore. That should mean that there's hydrogen over here, which there is. That's only going to fill in the pipe when our SPOM isn't giving enough. Alright, let's build more stuff in, I guess. Let's do some of the automation. We're going to need a utility, liquid tepidizer. I'm going to make it out of gold just in case it does get hot, even though it shouldn't get hot enough to melt itself. We're going to need automation, thermal sensor. Grab that to there. And all this is going to do is heat up radiant pipes that are getting pumped into it. So let's do them now as well. We'll make it out of aluminum, as we usually do. And then we'll go like that for right now, because I don't know how it's going to get piped into this area yet. I think I just have it going up and around as a sort of buffer. So instead of an insulated pipe, if I just go like this, that should keep this area relatively warm. In a good way at that point. We're also going to need power into here. How much power does this take? Can't tell. Okay, click on the tepidizer there. 960. So it's almost its own cord there. For right now, we're just going to go straight up, and then we'll worry about where it is afterwards. This needs to be green when it is below 35. So that this turns on and turns it up to 35. Alright, down here, let's get auto sweepers. So this can almost be done by one auto sweeper. And it's the same over here. See you there. I can't put one here. But I can put one there and it still covers that one thing of food that does not get picked up. And then this one, I guess we'll just go there. Conveyor chute, we're gonna have to turn it to the left so that this auto sweeper can reach it. And then over here, it doesn't matter where. Oh, these will be made out of steel. It's not what I want. Cobalt, please. These do not have to be that hot. You there, you there. Are these made out of steel? No, they're made out of cobalt. Alright, over here, we're going to put one there to get the mushrooms and the water weeds. And then one here, and I guess right there. Very loader there. And right there. Those two should be able to reach that one, and then this one cannot reach the one on the left or on the right. But this one can for all the mushrooms and water weeds. Now this is going to have to be a little bit different. You there, and I guess we'll do two over here. Very loader. Very loader. Oh, that's industrial machines, isn't it? No, if it was, then this wouldn't be a ranch. So never mind, that's fine. What we need to do is make this a room. We need to build in 3 tiles. I think I'm just going to do the 3 tiles right here. And then that's its own room. This is going to be all carbon dioxide at some point. They have the ladders built in, so let's keep going up with this. All the way up to there. I'm also going to build the ceiling over this. And let's do the automation in this area too. Now this should be getting a drop-off point. So I am going to put the drop-off for a conveyor loader right there. Is there anything else that gets dropped off stuff? Sleetweed does not. The nosh beans do not. The mushrooms could have slime getting dropped off to them. But that would honestly mess with the air in here. No, I think I am going to do it. But what I kind of want to do is a wait. Where is it? Right here. To shut off the conveyor belt when there's enough stuff in here, and that's going to cause issues with this water. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to uproot this. We're going to place in a tile right there and hope that the liquid doesn't go anywhere we don't want it. This is at almost 400 kilograms. We also need more aluminum. Let's just queue up 10. Do a regular pod for grub fruit seed. We finally have 1 grub fruit seed. We'll plant that right now and queue up the rest, even though we don't have the seeds for it. So now once we have sulfur, we'll be able to grow them and have even more seeds. How's our food doing? We do have surf and turf. We still have a lot of pacu fillets though. We're really not grilling as much as we need to. This one does random stuff we don't really need. We put that on a 6. This we need running constantly to get rid of all of the stuff. So I'm gonna have that on an 8. So they should use this, then use the oven, and then use this grill. Now I'm gonna probably have to put this on a higher thing so that we can make tofu. Because tofu immediately goes over here to the spicy tofu thing. So this is going to have to be on a 7 along with the electric grill. Which, if I make... Can anyone even reach both of those? No, it's gonna have to go in here and then get picked up and put in there. Alright, let's make tofu. I'm gonna put on forever. It already is on a 7, so they should make it immediately. I am waiting here for them to make one so that I can queue this up to have it. And then we'll be able to queue this up to have spicy tofu. Alright, that's one new food. I'm gonna pause so that they don't eat it. I just need to find it over here. Tofu. Alright, let's go into consumables, make sure that they can't eat it. No eating that. That's an ingredient, not a food. Weird things are happening. I want this up all the way so I can see the button. No tofu. No barbecue. Doing that thing again. Alright, that should be it right now. And then over here, queue this up to be spicy. It looks like we'll be able to make two things of spicy tofu. Why are gristleberries over here? They must have picked it up and ate it up here, and then the rest came down here. Yeah, that's not enough to do anything with. Put gristleberry in there. Just so they can pick it up and use it somewhere. And you just made our first spicy tofu of the stream. So there you go, we're making some slightly better food. This does still have a bunch of pickled meal. This has surf and turf, and the one thing is spicy tofu. So pretty soon we'll have to queue this up to be the exact same as that one. Now our non-perishable foods, we apparently ate all of them. Unless they're stuck somewhere. They are not. Where is our raw shellfish being cooked at? Oh, right here. That means... That's why we're not cooking any of the pacu fillets, because they have to be 2 different grills. Okay, so this does still have to be a 7. So instead of this being an 8, we're going to put that on a 7. Everything's back to how it was. I forgot that they don't cook them at the same time now. This looks like it's still waiting to get stuff. Why are they not doing the oil at all? Because you don't have enough. Alright, we're gonna have to go around and try the mop up oil. There's a little bit up here. There's a bunch right here. There's a lot right here. We can't mop that up. There's too much there. This we can. And some of this, but not all of it. We also took care of the flour that was over here. So we don't have to worry about that. Alright, that being said, we can deconstruct all of this. and stop that from being oil. Now this should be doing fine. We actually have steam in here already. What is this set to? Above 25, okay. It still has a lot to go before it overheats enough. They did do a bunch of the sweeps for oil, so they should be getting oil soon. They didn't do this yet. Right, now that we know where this is going to go, we should probably queue it up. Being brought all the way over here. And being dropped off right there. We are going to also have to figure out how we're getting sulfur over there. Now I know we have it queued up right here. And we should probably drop it off somewhere like right here. So that's the food going in. This is eggs. This is food going out. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is not queue it up to that point. I did not mean to connect that together. We're gonna have them go to each different floor. And then bridge it all the way over. And I had a feeling we were gonna run out of cobalt. Any cobalt up top? There's a little bit right here. We can dig over to that. So let's do that and that. All we need, and now we just dig over to it, right? Alright, let's do the second prediction of the stream. We have 30 points in tops and another 30 points in bottoms. Let's see, at the next cycle day, the next cycle start, we'll figure out what we're going to get. Oh, they moved some of the salt water over here. Let's empty that salt water. Where else do we have to go? Cobalt's over here. So let's dig out all of this cobalt now. And then we'll do the pod. So that's 4 right there. That means we need at least 1 ladder. Right here, that's another 4. We'll put a ladder here and here. That's 4, so we need a ladder here and here. And if I do this right, we don't have to put a ladder on this side. Dig into there, dig into here. Put another ladder here so they can get to that. And let's dig up to here now. That should be good enough. We also need a way to get to the cobalt that's over on this side. And all I'm going to do is just put ladders. So we're going to be able to get to that, so we need 1 here. Yes. Alright, all of this done now. We do have more cobalt down below. So we're not running low on cobalt yet. We haven't found the bottom of the asteroid yet, but we are close. We may have maybe 2 more biomes below this before we run into it. They are doing a good job of building all the ladders out here. I told them to do all that stuff when they were doing stuff up here. Let's make that back. And I kind of want to just finish burrowing out this area. So I'm going to queue up as many ladders as I can for over here. Then right here. Then in line with this. And then in line with this. The bottom of this line. And we ran out of igneous rock at that point. Are there any pockets of igneous rock we can dig to right now? This might be our sulfur geyser. We did have this queued up to get started digging it out. So I'm gonna queue up everything now. We also built it over here so we can get all of this. And you know what? I'm just gonna keep going. There was a ceiling collapse. I'm gonna pause so that they don't get stuck somewhere. And we'll queue up all of this as well. I do realize that we didn't do the prediction yet. I forgot where this collapse is while we're paused. Oh, it's just this area. They're fine. Actually, no, they're not, because it hit the cobalt. There's probably cobalt there too. Alright, and now we're at a point where I can do this. Blueprint is a building. So, sorry to the 2 people that put points into tops and bottoms, it's actually a building now. Of course, when everyone starts voting on clothing, it's not clothing. So that is a cool new water cooler. Let's actually use that water cooler. I like it. Looks more futuristic. Kind of fits with this. Congrats, June, on catching Snob. An ice bug-like thing. Wait, how are they doing on Cobalt? We do have them doing a lot of stuff. So I'm not expecting fast responses. We do have Cobalt ore. We can do a little bit more of these. We did get all the way over to here, so let's do all of this as well. And then figure out all of our bridges. Aside from over here, I want the food stuff to be prioritized over this stuff. Except for that, that's also food. So what I want is conveyor belts this way. We had an autosave, so I didn't rotate it when I said this way, but we want this to be bridged downwards. And then this to be bridged to the right. And then this can just be brought in. Like that for now. come over here and do some more belts. Or bridges, I mean. And then we also need to bring, I think for food, being brought into the base. We're just going to need another 2 of these. Connect it in and go straight down. So, up here, we actually might want to put in a conveyor sorter. Or solid sorter, I mean. And this is going to have to be able to reach the entire area in case an egg gets dropped off over there. So this actually needs to get moved over 1. This is going to have to be moved over 1 so that that sweeper can reach it. Actually, I didn't move it over at all. This does need to get moved over though, so that it can now reach 2 tiles. That still reaches this, and this still reaches everything else. So that will be fine. We could either put in a second conveyor loader so we don't have to sort out the eggs, or we could just sort the eggs. I don't know which one I want to do, honestly. The only thing I do know I want to do is get this connected in, so you are sulfur. Which needs to go to here. This is food going into the base, so I think I need to flip a bridge. No, this is eggs. So you know what? I am going to just do 2 more conveyor loaders. It'll cost us a little extra more power, but we should be fine with that. In terms of how food is getting taken out of here, I'm going to go to the right for over here. Connect all of this down to here. This is going to be a little bit difficult for them to build. This is for slime, so I don't know which way that's going to come in at. This, on the other hand, is going to go up. We're going to bring this over and then bridge it on. And then bring this out and down. Bridge that on, and then that comes all the way down to here. So let's just go down and in. And at that point, I need to deconstruct this bridge and flip it around. That should be all the automation for that done. Let's do another regular pod with coal. Grab that out. They're still doing all of this, which is fine. That's what I want them to do first. I'm gonna guess that this is Gino. Oh, it's actually Sophie. Sophie is finally helping Gino dig out stuff. Alright, how did they do with the cobalt over here? Did they use it all? They did dig it all out, but we do have cobalt ore again. So let's go back into this and place in all the bridges. So that goes to the left. Over here, this goes to the left, and then this goes down. I'm doing the bridges over top of the next line, because I've noticed that when there's a lot of auto or conveyor loaders going onto one line, they kind of bounce off of each other and then go instead of it just being one solid flow. So I think I should actually put another bridge up here. Just because this would be going into another output, so it would bounce back and then go through. But now it'll keep going. This one should be fine. I don't think it'll go down to this, bounce back up, and then go back in. Because it's two outs, not an out going to another out. And also the bridges give them direction. So over here, it may bounce back down and then go up and in. But since it's a bridge, I think it's just going to go up and over, and then everything bridges over to it. These two are fine because it's not going from this into that one to then leave. And then this bridge is just, again, another directional thing so that they know to keep going this way. After that point, they're all fine. Okay, what else do we need to do? We need to get in the light for up here. We need furniture. About time she pulled her weight. I'm gonna tell her you're being mean, Gino. Let's use this just because it looks neat. So I'm gonna do two like this and then one in the center. They're gonna be running non-stop. Oh, we also need to think about power in this whole area. Oops, turning up the volume. Didn't mean to do that. Actually, let's turn the volume all the way up on my computer so I hear it as loud as you guys do. Okay. I need to look at power and do the math on this. So let's get my calculator open on my phone. And we have 960 over here on the right. Then the auto sweepers and conveyor loaders are all the same amount of power, and then we have 30 up here. So it's 960 plus 30 plus 120 times however many loaders and sweepers we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 if I counted correctly. So that is 3,270 watts being used. Why is there polluted water here? That's petroleum. This area is apparently hot enough for that to boil. I didn't know it could do that. I'm gonna count again to make sure that I get the right amount of auto sweepers and conveyor loaders. There's 5 here, 10, 15. Yeah, there is actually 19. Okay, so we're gonna need 2 separate, what do they call it? Transformers. So what I'm gonna do is deconstruct this area. And we're gonna figure out where all this power needs to go. So I need to get 1270 on one line. Plus 240, that would be... That's 1230, that's not 1270. But then again, all of this isn't running at one time. The conveyor loaders and the auto sweepers are not going to be running nonstop. It's only when there is a food they're going to pick it up and use a little bit of power. This also isn't going to be running nonstop, but will use a lot of power sometimes. So we could probably do this all on just one transformer. That's actually what we're going to do. Put that there. I don't think we have enough cobalt to do the power line, but I'll queue it up. And then we need to get all of the conductive wires together. So, since this is still open, I'm just going to go straight across. No, I'm going to go up this way. Connect in the power, or the bulbs, I mean. And then go down here and connect downwards. And then I think I will fix this, actually. I think that looks neater than it was before. And since it goes all the way over here, let's go down this wall to connect into the rest of the base. And as far as I know, they should be able to build all these cords. We definitely have enough cobalt for it, but at the same... Whoa! We are already getting close to breaking the heavy wires. We're gonna have to upgrade this to being cobalt, which is a lot of cobalt ore we're getting back. On top of that, let's deconstruct all this. That is one thing I dislike about this game, too much math. Yeah, that's true. Let's also deconstruct this. This is all stuff we didn't know was ready to be deconstructed. And honestly, I do like it coming down from this, so let's deconstruct all this as well. Is there anything else I tried making more aesthetic pleasing? We could make this a little bit better. Actually, this is going to disappear. But everything else that we have placed in should be upgraded. What wires did I place in this area? That's different than this, so that's the new one. Over here is the new one. What about down here? That's a new cord, so I did do those correct. And then everything else should be the regular wire unless it goes between two liquid locks. Oh, this could be connected straight across. And that's not right. That has to be fixed. Alright. What I'm going to do now is keep it paused. We're going to do our kitten break, where I feed the kittens. We're also going to take a quick bathroom break afterwards, so I will leave the kitten cam on, but then we'll be going into the Be Right Back scene, which has new stuff added to it, if you guys were there for it. Last Saturday on the 1st, I was with Small Town Sophie, Regis, Cloud Cover, Mad King Rest, and Shiny Death Pony on Cloud Cover's channel, where we played a one-session game of D&D. I made a couple small videos of some of the highlights of that stream, and they're now part of our Be Right Back scene. So hopefully we get to the point where we can watch it. But anyway, let's go into our cat cam. Maybe they'll deconstruct everything in the time that the kittens are still eating. Now I am going to tell them to kill critters outside the base. Because I think we're at the point where we don't need any critters anymore. I'll keep the slicksters because they might die on their own at some point. But things like Paku, we don't need them anymore. We don't need the Pinch Rose. feel like there's Paku's hidden somewhere on the left side. I know I saw a thing that wasn't dug into, but I'm pretty sure there was a part that we had dug into, and there was Paku's stuck in it. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. Paku's there, but again, we did not dig into it. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Who knows? How's our power? This is looking pretty good. They're slowly getting this done. That's also getting done. Where does petroleum go in this? They go right here. I did not mop it out, so we don't actually have it discovered yet. Click on that and discover petroleum. There we go. Now we can queue it up to being this last thing here. And they're doing pretty good on all of the conveyor rails. I think they have everything. Nope, they don't have everything in the base done. They're slowly getting through it. I'm surprised you haven't caught Nimble before, Gino. That's been in chat a few times. It looks like they're doing everything outside the base first, but that's fine because that's where they're getting everything from outside the base. I wouldn't expect them to do this unless there was that much cobalt inside the base. And we haven't swept cobalt, so I wouldn't expect it to be in there. This should be coal, which it is. Kinda want to bring this in here so that we can get polluted dirt out of this area. That's going to be polluted water. I need to figure out how we're going to get all these liquids up here. I think if I go like this, that would probably be the easiest way to not interact with this water. So this would go up into here, and this would go all the way up into here. Ethanol, salt water, polluted water. And I want there to be a backlog, so we're gonna have to do it after everything goes in. And seeing how this looks, I don't like it going down and then back up, so let's do this. That should make things look a little bit more neater. And then that'll be easier for us to get out of here, to get all the way up to this. Still don't know what that bridge is for. I don't think we need this bridge anymore. So instead, we're going to take bridges. I don't want to go through the steam room. Then again, this isn't going to be a steam... This whole area is going to be steam at some point, so let's just line up with those pipes. We'll bring everything up the same way. So this isn't going to be here. Let's actually use it. And then we're going to need this for salt water and ethanol. Ethanol is going to need a bridge over, but because this is here... We also need to bridge... like this. And then up. We'll need another bridge right here, but I don't want to get salt water mixed in with the polluted water if they accidentally build that first. We can queue these all together. So I'm going to go to here and then bring it over. And these can just go straight up. The ethanol is kind of ready to go. So I'm just going to go like that. And we can put in the pipes for this, at least. And we just have to wait. So we're going to need a few cooling loops for up here. Oh, our oil is also across now. So that's honestly as much oil as we need in that area. Put in the double liquid lock now. We won't need any power coming in through this door, so we can actually just queue it like this. Let's deconstruct those two tiles. Hopefully get enough oil in this area that we can put two liquid locks there. If we don't, we're gonna have to wait until we get to the leaky oil future. And there is still one kitten eating. I'm gonna let them keep eating. They're probably gonna need a way to get up here. Let's go straight down here. And there's a ladder here, so we'll need to go across like that. Let's finish off this run. As far as we can finish it off, at least. And then we just need to do more of this. There is some cobalt right here that we can dig into, and also get to more igneous rock. Or we could go straight down this way. This should be our leaky oil fissure right here, which means we are actually close to the bottom. Don't remember what that is. That might be the second cobalt volcano? I'm pretty sure it is now. There's one up top right, and then there's the other one's bottom left. Bottom right should be an iron volcano, if we're lucky. Alright, all three kittens are done, so let me clean up the plates. I'll be right back. You guys get to watch them building all of the stuff here. What are you guys doing on the floor? Okay, Mama's eating the rest leftover food from the kittens. They are right now. Oh, let me get the camera on the screen so I can make sure I'm facing it the right way. Two of the kittens are right now sunbathing. I don't know if you can see both of them or not because one's near the bed. And the other one is just laying on the bed in the cat bed. There's two over here. I'm gonna place this back so you guys can see them when they're playing. That good? That looks good. What are you doing? I don't know if you guys could tell what I did, but I picked up one of their mice from off the ground, put it on the arm of my chair, and I flicked it. Is that a raid? Welcome in, Yelp. Right now we're playing with kittens. I'm flicking off a mouse toy from my chair. And Gina, welcome in from the raid. You're now here twice. So, Yelp and Raiders, if you guys don't know me, my name is Coded. On this channel, we're playing all of my games in a specific order to show off mankind's progression through technology. We did a bunch of games off of medieval city builders like Manor Lords. We did another chapter off of modern city builder games like City Skylines 2, and games that also include city type things like another brick in a mall, we made a mall. Prison Architect, we made a prison. Right now we're in our third chapter of this story where we are doing space travel. So we're doing Oxygen Uncluded as our main game, and we will have other side games. We're getting close to being able to do them. The whole thing with this is it is a Twitch Plays Long series, so occasionally we do have polls that you guys can do for what we're going to do next. We will be getting into polls soon when we're out of the mid-game. Right now we're trying to get functionally in the mid-game. We're doing all of our end-game food right now. And we're not completely done with this asteroid in preparation of the end-game yet. So we're getting close, but we're not there yet. Also, feel free to lurk, Yalp. I hope you had a great stream. Make sure to get up and stretch, get something to eat, get something to drink maybe. And what were you guys playing? I still have yet to make raids. Tell me what you guys played. So I have no idea what you were doing. Welcome in off-stream Phantom, first-time chatter, and raider. Oh, I just saw that Yalp is lurking right now. Maybe when they come back they can tell what you guys did. Alright. What were we doing? I already forgot because I had to clean up the kitten stuff. That's built in, but they're building something on top of it. Is that pipes? Yeah, those are pipes for the polluted water. We may want to tell them to slowly prioritize doing certain things in here. Yap was playing Oxygen Included. Well, hopefully you guys had a fun time over there. We could also tell them to slowly dig out this stuff. We don't need a vertical ladder here anymore. We don't need that. We're not going to need those anymore. Tell them to dig all that out and all of this out. Nothing is growing off of the abyssalite over on this side except for this guy right here, which is never going to grow any food, as well as these few things. trying to keep them as souvenirs. And you guys are going to get stuck down there. I can already see it happening. Because here comes Gino, ready to dig everything out. Alright, they have those in, so let's put 2 insulated tiles right there. I'm going to deconstruct those. That means they're going to get stuck in here if they don't have this built before they get out. They might be able to get out over here, though. Why is there an eggshell right here? Relocate you to here. You to here. And this eggshell to here. We don't have a place for eggshells to go into. And that's actually all the water we need in this area, so let's deconstruct this. We're gonna have to mop up all of this stuff. Too much liquid. But why isn't it still flowing? Seems odd. Anyway, this can be water. This has to be oil. I know there's no pincher pump somewhere, so there's no point in putting on an auto bottle, but I'll do it anyway. Looks like they're doing a lot more of stuff inside the base, which is fine. What is this for? This is an inlet for something. That's food. We had 2 inlets for food coming into the base. We really did. Why did I queue up 2 inlets of food? Base conveyor. Oh, because this is the actual inlet, and over here... That's facing the wrong way. This is for the eggs. That needs to be deconstructed. We actually don't need this conveyor rail because it seems better for them to come in this way. Which we could actually go straight down into here. No, that's salt. Or polluted dirt, never mind. And that one conveyor rail needs to go this way, which means over here should be an out, this should be an in, that's the wrong way. And we can deconstruct all of this. As well as this bridge. Because we don't need that bridge anymore. I can, on the other hand, connect those straight in. Oh, wait. They're going into food. I thought that was an outgoing pipe, not an ingoing. Alright, they'll fix that eventually. All the stuff on that conveyor rail is just going to get dropped onto the floor and they'll pick it up. We also have enough plastic to do the rest of the beds. I don't know why we haven't done the beds in a while. So I'm going to queue up all of them to be deconstructed. I mean, some people are going to sleep on the floor for a night or 2. Alright, all of that was fixed. We're doing the beds now, right as the next cycle of people are going to go to sleep. It doesn't look like we got back the phosphorite that was on the rails. That's unfortunate. Alright, since we're still doing the staggered beds, go like that. Grab our rocket ships. And whoever this is, they're deconstructing things a lot faster than the pilot up top. And this person was going for their bed right as it got deconstructed. Let's grab all of this and queue up that to be all swept out. We're gonna have to come back and reappoint the people to their beds. Why is there Gristleberry in here again? Because of this? No, that doesn't queued up for Gristleberry. Are they able to eat Gristleberry? They are able to eat it. Let's take that off. That's why this keeps getting Gristleberries. I need to queue this up to have them so they can take it out of there. And then drop it on the floor. You can't grab it. Somebody should be able to come over here, grab this, and put it into the oven, though. And that's just leftover food from over here. So I'm going to double this up to being 4 kilograms. So hopefully keep enough in here that we're not eating this food. It's okay if it rots, but I don't want to have them eating it. Alright, what are they doing next? Looks like the beds. They're doing the conveyor rails inside the base as well. So that stuff should be getting closer to being done. We need to place back in the bridge that was right here. And directional wise... Oh, we're gonna need a bridge over here. So it doesn't do that weird thing that they do, where it bounces back and forth. Alright, I think all of that should be fine. It looks like they're doing a build of top down. We're also not doing this, so maybe I should have prioritized them doing the oil biome first. Is there any igneous rock in here? There is, this area. Let's high prioritize that portion. This... maybe igneous rock underneath? There's like 1 or 2 pieces of igneous rock, that's fine. And this is that's granite and igneous rock. So we really just have that portion there to dig out. And then the rest is in a different oil biome. Okay. I am honestly tired of seeing a liquid up here. So I'm debating on if we do more ladders up top where we're looking. Just so I can dig out everything above the base that's liquid-wise. Or if I just leave it for later. I think I am going to at least dig out this portion. So that all of that liquid at least drips over slowly. And there is bleach stone back here. See one right there. There's something over here. That should be it. Oh, there's some over here. Bleach stone there. I know it's in here. There it is. Hopefully that stops the stuff from off-gassing in this area. We'll have to check in on it every now and then. I'm okay with polluted oxygen getting out. Just don't want the bleach stone off-gassing because we might use it for something later on. Actually, we're currently using it for food. So the more we keep, the more we don't have to grow from the chlorine vent here, which did off gas. But it's not hot enough in here. Alright, you guys attack my feet, you can get off now. This should be anything above 500. That should be set to below. Okay, we just didn't turn this on, that's fine. So this should be sending chlorine to both this reservoir and then also out here to our infinite gas storage, which we'll be using later on. We will have to figure out the new pipe system for that because that's going to be coming out here above our food. Where we're going to have 3 different puffed branches. Or we could place them down here somewhere. We might change up where they are. Alright, this should be getting taken care of, which means that the heat from this off-gassing should be spreading over further to get over to this. If we're lucky, it should be getting warmer. Can't tell, I don't think it's off-gassing enough for us to tell that. It's off-gassing less than what we pick up, so we're definitely not getting anything new from this. We should be draining it faster than we're filling it. So anyway, that's up and running. That'll be going in the background. Where did the polluted, or petroleum go? Oh, it's in the pipe. That's fine. Alright, we do have quite a bit of igneous rock. I see bleach stone right here. Where is it? There it is. So I am going to actually continue a little bit more ladders. Try and get through this biome system up here. That's all the igneous rock again. That's not good. I just need to tap into more volcanoes than I currently am. I only have that one volcano currently being used. One of these is a big volcano, the other one is a minor volcano. I forget which one's which. And I think it may be time to make steel unlimited. So I'm going to go up to 20,000 kilograms, because we're going to be using a lot to upgrade the wiring outside the sauna. Because eventually this is going to be one big sauna. Which I am going to slowly work towards doing now. That'll be our end game, making this whole thing a big sauna. What I'm going to do first is make this look a little bit neater. By going up here. It's going to use probably all of our cobalt. Yes, it did. That will allow us to deconstruct. Not enough to replace all that. Never mind. Cancel all that. What I was trying to do is find a way to connect this side in. Actually, we could do it right here. That's gold. If we connect in there, then I can deconstruct this side of the base. Alright, we have some leftover remnants of when we had issues. Deconstruct all that. Looks like they finished everything in the base. Actually, they didn't. Let's do a third prediction. So, is the pot in the top left corner going to be a top clothing, a bottom clothing, buildings, decorations, or wallpaper? You have 10 minutes to put points in. I hope everyone wins. What are you doing? Can you not be in front of my stuff? Alright, they got the igneous rock from over here, that's fine. We're probably gonna have to come down to this, which in turn requires igneous rock. We will need this ladder, but we don't need the other ladders. So I'm just going to tell them deconstruct all of that and dig this all out. With them deconstructing the ladders up there, they should be able to build more so that we can get some more igneous rock. You know what? I'm going to tell them to prioritize doing all of this, so that we can move stuff around at the bottom of this infinite liquid storage. What are you doing? I see you down there. What are you doing? What? My paintbrush. You're gonna start attacking the screen again, I'm gonna kick you off. I'm okay with them watching, but if they attack the screen, I don't want them to puncture it. Alright, they're doing the pipes like I told them to. Let's also tell them to prioritize this one bridge before they do the other portion. I'm gonna get ready to cut this off. Because if they do it right, this is only 2 more pipes. Okay, Riggins just brought over a bunch of igneous rock through these pipes. That is now built in, so we can go like this. Oh wait, I actually want this in so that I can get all the polluted water out there. There it is. There's nothing in there. And this is ready to be connected into here. They're doing a bunch more pipes. They're so close to finishing it, but choosing not to. Alright, they're bringing stuff over to here. Is this going to be them finishing those 2 pieces? Or are they doing the bridges first? There we go. We have this now connected in to here. Which means we can start deconstructing all of this. All the way over to this point. Where we then need to just disconnect these. I want the bridge. There we go. So that's all ready to come up here into our food, which means this can now be connected in. And then when they build that, it'll be ready. This whole area Prioritize that and deconstruct this. Welcome in, Regis. That bridge is backwards. Which bridge? I wouldn't put it past me to put something backwards. I have a feeling you're just joking with me, but at the same time, I do pull an echo occasionally. I guess if you want to, we do have a prediction going for our third pod of the day. And I want to keep this off until we can put our cooling system in here. We have our heating system ready. We don't have a cooling system ready. I'll never tell. Let's connect this and actually cancel that one. We need to cancel all of that, actually. I need to tell them to prioritize relocating stuff. And we need to deconstruct this one power cord. What are you guys doing over there? They're just zooming around. We're getting closer to having this area done. It should probably work out where our power is going to get connected to. I think we'll just put it right here. Then we only need like 3 tiles of insulated stuff. We were trying to do this so we can get rid of all this liquid. Alright, they've relocated a bunch of the eggshells. Let's now sweep everything out of inside here. Then we can block off the top portion. We somehow have 25.5 tons of igneous rock. No one got stuck up here, so it's probably from them deconstructing all those ladders. So I'm going to tell them to finish this ladder run here. We actually need one more ladder. And then I'll queue up all the dig commands for that area. Just because that should also help us deconstruct the rest of the ladders we don't want. Which should pay us back pretty much all the ladders we just spent putting in. So anyway, we need to plan out the next coring of an oil biome. Let's get this going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. 5. Why is it easier to do this in my head than it is when I do a ladder going downwards in between? Usually I count down from the middle portion and do 5, but somehow that was easier to count. Put all this in. That's weird. This should be our sulfur geyser. Let's put in as many ladders as we can in this oil biome to dig everything out. Until we run out. That should be sedimentary rock. Because it looks different than this one. So I'm going to ignore that up there. Connect this all the way over. I'll go like this just so they can get up and over. Bring this all the way over. And since we're bringing down a liquid with us, we should be stifling this zombie spore. Or the spore kid, sorry. We also get a couple more cactus. And we're going to do this systematically so that I don't accidentally allow that spore kid to have carbon dioxide. Alright, and then this is going to be all on a 6. To that point. We apparently are having meteor showers. What kind? Looks like ice. That was a slime meteor, never mind. They are filling in the space above here, so we're not too worried about this getting destroyed. We will have to get up here at some point in the future. I kind of want them to finish this. Can I get you guys to prioritize all of this over top of the other stuff that is probably more important than doing that? Yeah, we also haven't finished this area. I'm gonna see how close we can get to finishing this area here. So we really don't need ladders above this, because they can build to here, or they can dig to there. This, I can actually get rid of that one ladder. And then we only need 2 more ladder runs in here to finish off this area. And that is the whole right side of the base down to the liquid infinite storage. Or I should say the infinite liquid storage. So let's see how far I can spread this igneous rock before we run out. Can I do all of that? I highly doubt I can do any of this. We're going to need ladders going down to at least there. I'm going to go down to here. And then we don't have enough igneous rock to keep going after that. Alright. They should be doing all of this. There's more bleach stone. Let's grab all of that. I don't see any more off-gassing out here. Rigas, how was your spooky game? If you're still here. I don't know if you're lurking or not, but... we have a lot of vertical ladders over here for no reason. Like, this doesn't have to be here. Oh, that deconstructed this as well. Let's not deconstruct that. We have this vertical ladder. We don't even need this. There's no point in having that there. I'm actually going to not do that one. Turns out it's a bad idea to let zombies onto your spaceship. Who knew? That's why we're trying to stay away from the Spore Kid. How did they do digging over here? They actually haven't done very much of it. Oh, this is just idle. This should be getting hotter now. How hot does this have to be? It has to be 35 degrees. Are you not? That's the wrong button. Is it F3? No, the plant itself is 34.8. It is trying to heat up this water, which doesn't heat up very quickly by radiant air. Over here is 43, which should be fine because these plants should go up to 85, yeah. 34.8. Can't tell if that's heating up or not. It's also getting a small amount of heat from these machines. I don't know. I'm gonna let that sit for a while. What's the next thing I should prioritize just to get it done? I think this wire. Once I can prioritize it. That's not the prioritize key. That deconstruct. That canceled all of the wires. I'm doing all the wrong buttons. Get that back in there. Priority 7. All of this. And that probably shouldn't be there. You can go back on a 5 because there's no reason for you to be on a priority. I don't even know what the priority is for. Maybe for the tune-up? I don't know. We can also mop this area up because there's not going to be any liquids falling onto that anymore. That was left over from the steam that we let off from this room. And then that will allow us to disconnect this portion, which disconnects everything from the right side of the colony. Let's also prioritize this so we can get the polluted dirt out of here. Put this back on a 5 so that we're not prioritizing it by dupe labor. We could also deconstruct all of this, because I don't think we're going to get to a point where we actually need to use the coal. I think we're doing fine on hydrogen. It just doesn't seem like it right now, but we shouldn't be running out. Actually, that's empty. That's our infinite storage for gas. So maybe we are running low on power, and we should keep that coal then. Ooh, majority seeds. Oh, we actually have everything finished off. Let's go through and change all the beds to the correct people. We're going to go into schedule. We're going to scroll all the way down. And we want to start with Dotterly, who is not here. Is that where Ellie goes after food? Ellie does go after food. Okay. Ellie's been in the wrong schedule for as long as they've been here. I actually need to go up to this one. We need to start with Small Town Sophie. Sophie goes right here. Then it's Marie. Then we have Meep. This bed. Then we have Yelp. Forgot Yelp how to dupe. Then it's Dotterly, then our new duplicate Ellie. Oh, also, if there's anyone still lurking from the raid, we do have a redeem for 500 points that lets you name a dupe. We have, I think, 8 or 9 dupes that are not named if you want to take one. That was Ellie, so we're going down to this. So the next one is Jugal. Then Liam. Then Jackie Be Good, wherever they are. And then it's 3 unnamed dupes. One is Meemaw, which I think I just saw. I guess I didn't. I think they're at the bottom. Meemaw, Abe, Ari. And that's because we just updated their beds. Alright, how did they do? They're almost done all these. They're probably going to go onto these afterwards. They did clean up all the water. I should probably tell them to clean up all the debris, too. I'm going to tell them to sweep up certain things. I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. We should probably do it by food. Although I do want to be able to sweep up wood. I guess anything we're filtering. So we are filtering wood. We are filtering polluted dirt. I already have phosphorus. What else is down here? We are doing coal. You filter the coal out of this area. Wood, coal, dirt, phosphorus, igneous rock. If I tell them to pick up any igneous rock. Oh, that's already queued up to being here. And the last thing is sulfur, which we don't have unlocked yet. Let's copy all that onto here. Then if I do a sweep command over here, they'll get the wood. We are getting run into a power deficit now. So maybe we should start getting the dirty brick going. Why are they not down here doing this? I put on a 6. Let's put on a 7. I know there's a lot of things on a 7. They finished the power, so we can disconnect up here. Can I just replace this with a tile? No, I can't. I have to deconstruct it, which is going to do stuff with this polluted oxygen. We're going to get polluted oxygen back in here again. Not too happy about that. I'm going to put this on an emergency build, so that we don't get too much polluted dirt or polluted oxygen in this area. I also want to put in some airflow tiles over here because there's not much air. That is being made of cobalt ore, that's fine. Who's coming over to build this? Jackie be good with the underscore. Thank you, Jackie, for saving us from the polluted oxygen. We got a little bit. I am fine with that amount. We do have polluted oxygen like throughout the base. That little bit amount would be fine. If you have a bed skin, your bed needs one. I don't know. Oh, you do have the only bed skin that I have. You're in the SS Napmaster. I had a feeling that was your bed, but I didn't know when I clicked on it that was yours. That was just coincidence that I picked it up. Alright, now we have polluted dirt being picked up from this area, so that's going to be cleaned out over time. Okay, never mind. Because we are doing, since I only have 2 types of beds, we're doing every other thing here. Alright, how is our food doing? I feel like we're still not cooking pacu fillets at all. We've been stuck at 140,000 kcals of pacu fillets, and we're not cooking it. So is this not able... It's able to get that and put them in here. I don't have it queued up. Chat, you're supposed to help me here. You're supposed to tell me when to do stupid stuff like that, where queue up the ingredient, but not the actual queue. I see no cats. That's because they're on the play cam at this point. Where are they? One is sleeping at a window, way off screen. The other 2 are at my feet, laying down, so they are actually probably going to go to sleep. This is their after lunch nap. Now, usually I would filter out things that make lime, but it looks like I'm not doing that now. I'm gonna queue this up to get all of the stuff that gets filtered. So stuff like coal. Feel like it's it. No, wood. Oh, I clicked out of it. Where is it? Right here. Okay, so it should have wood, coal, polluted dirt, phosphorite, igneous rock. I'm pretty sure they have it. I can identify with after lunch naps. What's going on right here? Oh, that's the phosphorite coming up here. We haven't finished the food area yet. Okay, did they finish doing everything I did on a 7? They got pretty far. So that gave us a bunch of igneous rock to finish up making things look aesthetically pleasing, at least. Which means all of that. We just have to get to digging all of this stuff out. We probably have enough to finish this ladder run over here. So if I just bring that all the way over to here so they can get up in this area and pick stuff up. We will then continue this all the way over, which surprisingly runs directly into this room. So this is a perfect room if you guys want to use it for a colony base, where you don't have to deconstruct it. It's 4 tiles high. We, on the other hand, are going to deconstruct it. Now, there is bleach stone over here. on top of the bleach stone we're going to be digging out. So let's try and pick that up without it off-gassing somewhere else. And I can see that there's liquids up here. Let's mop those liquids. Alright, let's take a step back and look at stuff that we want to high prioritize. So it looks like there's nothing on the bottom other than this stuff, which is when we need igneous rock. That's the only time we're going to high prioritize that. For now, it's just going to be on a 5. They'll dig all the way down. That's fine. We are still doing the automation and conveyor system along with power for our food. Now we also need to put in cooling in this area, so this isn't completely done. We could high prioritize everything that's in there just so we don't see build commands. We do have ladders all over the place. And this is so that we can get this drained out. I think we're going to just high prioritize this middle area. So if I tell them to deconstruct all of this, I actually wanted to deconstruct all. They can't get to here yet. I think I need to demolish some things. Actually, it's all queued up. I am surprised. Okay, let's just queue up this entire area to be dug out then. They'll dig as much as they can reach until they can't reach it anymore. We might not need those 4 ladders. I think they can get from here up and over. They can also go up and over the volcano. I am going to deconstruct those 4 ladders. And let's just prioritize all of this. Not this, though. We've already used it. Does that say demolish? Oh, it says to queue up for demolish. Okay. Now this will allow all the liquids to drain down here, which it'll drain wherever it needs to go. We can mop it up later. I am worried that there are spores down here that we don't want. Where was that oil biome? Right here. So apparently there's a spore kit in there. If we deconstruct that tile and dig out the plant that's underneath it, that should make it not off gas. This is going to be fixed once we can get all the way over to here. Okay. Our power is running on empty at this point. I am thinking about upgrading all of this now rather than later, so this should be steel already. Let's queue all of this to get replaced. And that was all the steel. So we did pretty much the 2 main directions on here and nothing else. That can get done whenever. We'll prioritize other things over than upgrading that. Okay, they got to that point, so let's deconstruct all of this. They haven't built this yet, so I don't want to deconstruct that. But I do want to deconstruct this. And if we put one ladder right here, they should be able to get up and over. I also noticed a little bit of the water right there. This also means that this amount of liquid here is not going to increase, so let's mop that up. Gino is slowly making his way over. Might I point out, without Sophie's help yet again. We also have an outcome ready for a prediction. Looks like 500 points are in bottoms, 30 points are in wallpaper. I have a feeling that's Gino. So Gino, I hope you get wallpaper. Let's see what's in it. We have a building. That is a new flower pot. So unfortunately, nobody won that one. So that was 2 buildings and 1 piece of clothing. The only time it was clothing was when nobody chose clothing. The irony. It never stops, in oxygen not included. Alright, they are slowly getting through all this. They're doing their best. Sophie is now coming over to help Gino dig out what they can. Surprised they haven't deconstructed that yet. Alright, they should be able to get down and then back up over to here so we can deconstruct all the ladders in here as well. And nobody should get stuck unless they're here, because they need to build those 2 ladders first, or at least one of those 2 ladders. You're gonna get stuck there, buddy. Don't go down there. There we go. Now they're not going to get stuck. And now over here is not going to get stuck because it looks like Regus is now building in those 2 ladders. Awesome. Alright, they're getting closer to being done, all that. How are we doing on food? We did get through all the Pacu fillets. Actually, no we didn't. That's more. No, that's, we were at 140,000. Now we're at 120, so we are getting through that. Means we should be getting surf and turf done. We do have a lot of meal lice for some reason. I think I can cut back on food, actually. How much food are we currently growing? This should be 3 duplicates. Oh, each tile. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And we're on an incline of food, having 10 more, or 9 more duplicates than that. So where is the hottest place? At the bottom. I think we deconstruct the bottom layer. I'm gonna leave the insulated pipes, or tiles there, just to make sure that the heat doesn't continue growing fast up there. But I really don't think we need that much meal ice. Especially since we're not cooking through it as quickly as we need to. We do have almost 7,000 calories of stuffed berry. That's pretty cool. They'll deconstruct that eventually. Now they are probably going to get stuck up here because it looks like they're putting in the ladders where they're digging. So it looks like Gino just got stuck. Nope, the ladder got built. Never mind. So they are building the ladders as fast as they're digging them out. They're getting stuck. Sophie. Okay, they're building it. Never mind. I'm getting concerned for nothing. I'm starting to think that it might be quicker to do what Echo does of digging a 7-tile wide corridor or doing 3-tile high corridors. The 7-tile high ones would cost less ladders. The 3-tile high one would cost more ladders. Ooh, excellent fruit. We'll take that extra non-perishable food. Alright, they're getting close to getting all this done. Try to think of what next I want to do. I think I want to get ready for the dirty brick. Let's start getting them built in then. So we are going to go down 2 ladder runs for some odd reason. Because this goes to there. I have a ladder run here. This is the top of the new area. It's the same width as the top one, so we're going all the way over to here. And then this is going to be a slightly odd building, although the inside of it, all the ladders are going to match the ladders outside. So the only thing that's going to be weird is this top portion. That's a steam bath, which is going to capture the heat using the steam turbines. That goes down. Here, how many layers or ladders do I have to go down? So if we're already at 1, we need to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ladders down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is way down here. And 1, 2, 3, cut those 2 out. This whole thing is going to be one large dirty brick, which is going to give us all the power we need for the rest of the game. It's going to have a lot of coal. We're going to finally use our natural gas, and at some point it'll get hot enough to flash the water. So we're going to have 2 air gas destroyers. One's going to get rid of extra carbon dioxide, the other one's going to get rid of the steam that's going to build up in this area. And we just need to wait for igneous rock to do that. They're not doing too bad over here. They are going slower than I want them to, but they're not doing too bad. It would help if I can come from 2 different directions other than them going 2 ladders at a time to the right. Actually, at this point... No, that would introduce too much heat going up this way. I could insulate going across here. I think I might do that. Oh, that's right, we don't have igneous rock for that. Actually, this is a temporary thing. We don't want to use igneous rock anyway. Let's set all of this to not being igneous rock so we can get it back. Alright, they're getting closer to doing a lot of errands over here, so I'm going to wait them out before I do this. This is going to be the next thing that we're going to high prioritize. Although the diggers should be coming over here to dig all that out anyway. Alright, let's prioritize all of this. If I end up getting enough igneous rock, I'm also going to connect the ladders all the way over to here, which I think I can do without actually building ladders, by just digging out this area. Looks like they're prioritizing deconstructing more than digging and building. So that must be an attack thing. Or it could be toggling. Because digging's way over here. Yeah, now they're coming over here to deconstruct all of these. Alright, they're not going to be able to get across here unless I put some amount of ladders. We can put the amount that we need. So I'll do that, and then we're going to save the rest of the igneous rock we have to do ladders in this area. So, prioritize all of that. They can now come at this from two different sides. Now they're deconstructing everything. You guys are going to be stuck up there. Ah, you guys almost made it down. And now they're gonna kind of be stuck over there. Yep, I knew it. We're gonna have to keep queuing up ladders on this side so that we can get across. Willow's sleeping on the ground. Regis is also mixed in there, and so is Marie. And then we have Slicky down here. Oh, somebody's peeing their pants. Looks like it's Marie. Oh no, that was Willow. They're almost there. They only have one more ladder to do before they can all get out. In the meantime, Slicky is slowly deconstructing everything out of his way. Oh, now he fell asleep. Let's also max prioritize that. And then since we have quite a bit of igneous rock, I'm just going to do all the ladder runs. Queue them all up. That's from reconstructing all of this stuff. Oh, now they can't get to that, so I'm going to have to dig this area. I was trying to dig it from underneath. Oh, this is also 5 tiles high. That's fine. It doesn't have to be on line with the ladders. Let's relocate this useless machine to over here. Alright, we're not done all of the liquid just yet. We still have some up here. Actually, we can tell them to mop this up before it even falls down. So that should mean once this... Actually, let's just mop that up. And I just got my first headphone alarm for a low battery. So it must be close to us being able to raid out. Alright, next thing I'm gonna do is dig this. There's bleach stone in here. And I'm gonna close the one picture I had open. I feel like there's something over here. Yep. I saw you. The only reason why there wouldn't be a liquid there is because there's something at off gases. See even more right there. Where is it? I know you're here. Why is it not? There it is. Usually it goes up to the top because it's a sublimator. I can see that right there. And this is off-gassing. Alright, so what I was trying to get at is we can mop this up. After that's done, we'll mop this up. And hopefully, if I did the math right, we should be going down numbers. Look at all the different types of food we have. We even have a lettuce. What do we use lettuce for that we're not using it for right now? The mushroom wraps. Because we need to get the mushrooms online. I think what we're going to do is grab carbon dioxide from this pit down here and just pump it all the way over there. It's going to take quite a while. I think it'll be worth it. Thought there was a wheezewort in that biome. Alright, so now that they are able to go from left and right, they should be getting this built a lot quicker than before. Except for this area. They mopped up that top place, so let's do this now. And a check just to make sure. Now this is making hydrogen, but we're using it as quickly as it's making it. So we really can't run off hydrogen only. They did all the liquids over here. That was quick. Let's queue up all this. Which is slowly emptying. One more tile left to go before this is no longer annoyed by heat. We could actually take all this off. These are good. Oh, they're only good to 10. So this actually needs to get a little bit hotter. So let's put this back. It's still a little too cold for that area. Let's do gold amalgam. They're trying to get all the water done from up here. They're doing a pretty good job of it. I'm just gonna do another queue to make sure that they do all of it. There is some bleach stone right here that's off-gassing. Where is it, though? There it is. Bleach stone here. I saw something over here off-gas. I just didn't see which tile it was. So we're gonna ignore that unless I see it pop off again. 'Cause there's a lot of chlorine just hiding right there. Yeah, I'm not gonna wait. Is Rigas doing that whole line? Oh, left one. You almost made it all the way, Rigas. Alright, so we still have some amount of food up there. Let's prioritize finishing the base. That wasn't high prioritized, that's why I didn't finish that yet. We're almost done up here, getting all the igneous rock back from that. I think we move on to finishing up the food. I'm just going to tell them to queue all of this up. I'm going to need them to do the ladder as well. So we'll do all of that, and I need them to dig all of this. We also can block this in now. Because we do have the pipes, we have the power, we have the automation. That's all that goes through there. So anything else? All the polluted dirt's out of here. So that's good. Oh, one of the headphones died. We'll wait until the other earbud dies completely before we raid out. Should give us a little bit more time to finish off the base. What are they prioritizing doing? Oh, that's Gino. Gino digs. Alright, I'm going to at least queue up moving all of this carbon dioxide. Two of these take 480. One generator does 400. We're gonna need two generators. I'm gonna put two batteries. This doesn't have to be pretty. We'll just do that for now. And it doesn't have to be insulated. We're gonna make this all out of granite because that seems to be the one that we have the most amount of. So go up to at least there. I'm gonna tell them to dig through here. Make sure they have a way to get over. Alright, that should be fine. Continue this. We're just gonna go right from here. All the way up. We're gonna have to bridge over that. All the way up to here. And I'm going to put that back on igneous rock for the next time I have to put pipes down. I don't want to accidentally put down the wrong kind. Entombed. What is? How did you get entombed? Oh, sand fell from above. Gotcha. Alright, and all of that should push carbon dioxide down here. If we do this a little bit smarter, deconstruct those three tiles, which should allow more airflow through here. Then we'll just have to build it back in later. Can I have this dig here done now? Before anything else? Why is there polluted water in there? No polluted water. Yeah, we also didn't do the power. We have to deconstruct that so we can get in there again. Come on. Alright, hopefully this one person's coming over to mop that up. It looks like they have something in their pocket, though. Who is trapped? Amy, you're not trapped. You are trapped. All that's done. We need to high prioritize picking up all that. They're not doing too bad. They're doing weird things first, but they're not doing too bad in what they are doing. So if we take a look at this, blue water goes all the way up. Yep. Salt water goes up into here. Ethanol goes into here and is probably too hot. Yes, it is. So we are probably going to want to create our own ethanol first so that we can cool it down and add it to that amount, just so that that can also be cooled down over time. Why is there more polluted water in here? Where is it coming from? This makes polluted dirt, not polluted water. Then can somebody come mop this, please? Okay, this person probably is. Good job, Amy. Now there's not 1,000 kilograms of water in there. We don't know where that came from. Because it can't come... Maybe it did come over from here when they were doing the ladders. That does make some amount of sense. There is a Sneasel in chat. That'll be the last Pokemon of the stream, probably. Oh, there's a dense puffed egg. We're going to clear that. We don't need to see that right now. They're doing the last ladder up here. So now they really should be just focusing on this. Oh, they're still adding water to this. Cancel that. We don't need that. We can build that in. And then we're going to need to add power to this so that we can vacuum it out. Vacuum there, cobalt, we'll just queue it into this. And a vent. Let's make that max vent. Just like that, that'll be fine. They're making their way up here. It's just taking them some time. Alright, there's no more polluted water in there. I can queue this up. Entombed again. Alright, I want them to really get this area done here. Because we won't be able to get to that after we block this off. I'm gonna do another sweep just to make sure. Yep, there is still stuff in here. Probably stuff that they dropped when they were trying to fill the plants. Alright, they emptied that out, so this is done and ready. There is still liquid up here. Now, I know there's polluted oxygen being produced up here. There's some chlorine. I knew I saw chlorine somewhere. Where is it? Chad, I don't see it. Oh, I see it now. Is there any more? Yep. Welcome back from the ads, everyone. We're right now hunting down bleachstone. And there goes my headphone. We're almost done right here. We're actually not doing too bad for one cobalt volcano. The amount of cobalt we're using, we're keeping up with what we're using. Usually, I run those cobalt volcanoes dry right out the gate. And I'm always waiting for cobalt. Somehow, I did stuff right this time. Right, that's all done, so we can go like this. Add that in. I might as well take the earbud out of my head. It looks like they're doing all the cobalt stuff first, since it is closer. Not entirely sure that's how they're doing it, but it seems like it. Why is there water in here again? Because we couldn't mop it out. Let's deconstruct that and hope that we can mop out all the water. After we clean up the water, we're gonna find someone to raid out to. And here we go. Now this is going to make a mess on top of the oil. Not really anything we can do about it. Unless someone comes in here and starts mopping before it gets to that point. Might as well queue this up to be deconstructed. There we go. Amy is trying her best to keep up with that. Looks like Lyra is going to be stuck getting dripped on while they're trying to clean that up. Let's put this on a 7 so that they come in here and deconstruct that. Then we can at least mop up the water as it comes over here. We have another thing stuck in here. They almost mopped it all up. I am surprised. Oh, not the oil. Right, now we should be able to do all of this. Oh, we can't actually get all of it. I'm gonna have to put a tile in. Put a tile right there. Then I just need to queue up this. Once that gets built in, we queue up that. Unless, of course, it ends up being oil on that. It shouldn't be. And block that back in. What's going on over here? Oh, we don't have the plant selected. Now, how is this going to go down? Is the oil just going to move over, or is it going to go up? I just moved over. Awesome. That's what we wanted to happen. so that we can mop up the water. They almost have all the cobalt stuff done. This is cobalt ore, so that's not what I'm talking about, but the cobalt, like the power lines and everything, they almost have it done. They also almost have the pipes done, which I think Regas is coming over to finish off right now. Good job, Regas. And there's the power transformer, so once this... How's it say no power right now? Oh, we're not making enough to charge it. That means something bad's happening over here. We are gonna run into a power issue soon. The batteries are starting to run now. Okay, is over here getting colder? It does seem like it is getting colder, so we are bringing in more heat than we are getting rid of from outside the base. So over time, this will get cooled down. We don't actually need those pipes. So I'm going to deconstruct all of them. I'll let them do that whenever. And now, I have dragged on as much as I could. We are going to find someone to raid out to. So let's come out here. We're going to save. Look at how much we dug out in this stream. We dug out this entire area here. We did a little bit more oil biomes. They also dug this all out. Nice. So they're getting ready to do the pipes and everything. So let's get our screenshot ready. I want this to be full screen. I don't know what that just did. Give me 1 second while I find this screenshot. I think I just did the wrong setting. This can be deleted. It took a screenshot of all 3 of my screens. That's not what I want to do. Try this again. We want a window. There we go. So I get a screenshot of only oxygen not included.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to catch me live, I stream on Twitch on Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 AM EST to 12:30 PM EST, and on Sundays from 10 AM EST to 2 PM EST.